Hey there, and good morning, Proniacs. Welcome to this happy hump day edition of Pronia Mornings. I am RJ Lang, and today I will talk with you about my race from this weekend. That was half Ironman, 70.3 Arizona in Tempe, Arizona, Tempe Town Lake. What happened at that race was incredible. It started out perfect. I got to the finish line healthy and prepared to race that day, and that was the goal besides qualifying for the World Championships in New Zealand, at which I'll be the spoiler right now, I did not do. I was a half hour from getting a ticket to the World Championships over at the half Ironman in New Zealand. But there's opportunities coming up. I looked into them yesterday. There's one in Victoria that I could qualify for. There's also one in Wisconsin that may be one to get into as well, to enter into. We'll see where that takes us for the half Ironman, if I'm going to try again to qualify for New Zealand. But next up, we have the full Ironman, the full 140.6 distance in Texas. In Woodland, Texas, it's the Ironman, and that's April 25th, my birthday of next year, 2020. I am getting prepared for that starting in January, maybe a little bit earlier, but we have vacation coming up in Hawaii at the beginning of December. And let's talk a little bit about the race in Arizona. I got there healthy, and I got there prepared. When I got in the water, it was fairly warm, which is okay, and I hadn't swam in my wetsuit for a while. So I had a couple of strokes to get used to the feel of it, because it kind of tips your back and has great support in your spine. So it keeps you afloat more, but you have to focus on keeping your legs floating as well while you're using your arms as you normally would in the swim. But I was zigzagging a lot, which is a problem. Usually you can go, if you go straight, that's the closest distance and the shortest amount of work that you're going to need to do. But I was zigzagging along the course, and that didn't help me out any. But it did help me when I got to about just past the halfway point. There was a guy going my similar pace and a little faster that I was able to get behind and draft in order to get a lot faster and use a lot less effort. So I did that for about 400 meters, which is a significant distance, about 3 to 4 buoys. And then then he dropped me, is what it's called. And he took off, and I wasn't able to keep up with him, and then I had to finish on my own, and I finished with a 35, which is decent. I mean, it's a decent swim time for all my scores over the course of the day were decent, with the exception of the bike. I thought the bike time was exceptional, especially for me. My run, it was okay. I mean, I lost a little bit, and that's the only thing that veered from the plan that I had put down on paper and had been studying all week long to get to that point. I had messed up my nutrition plan and didn't take the gel as planned in my 30 mark and my 60 mark or 70 mark, and that's the minutes. And when I looked down at my watch, and I was at 1 hour and 8 minutes, and I had a full belt of gels, and I was supposed to only have one left, I knew I was in trouble. And then mentally, it got into me, and about 8 miles into it, my body started to say, hey, this is where we're at. We've reached capacity. You're not going any faster. So, and I didn't get into any real dark places like I do on the full Ironman and some other, on the one in St. George, I went into some pretty dark places. It was a rough time. But it was more of trying to draw more from what I was able to put out, like in my legs, and just draw from anything, from the crowd noise, from the people around me, from trying to catch other people, and just make the legs move faster, pump the arms, and just focus on form in order to get to a pace that you can get a little bit faster. My heart rate was set, and that's what the plan was, to keep the heart rate at an even level so that you resisted spiking. And when you spike, usually then you'll take a tumble real quick in your pacing, in your energy level, in your nutrition. Your stomach will start to do weird things, and I don't need to go into all of that. But once I crossed the finish line, I mean, if you've seen any of the pictures, I had a phenomenal time. I enjoyed the whole journey. The week long that we were able to spend in Arizona was a great time with family. Lydia and Georgia got to spend a lot of pool time, a lot of time outdoors, and the first day that we were there, we went to the zoo, so they really enjoyed that as well. Monica had a good time. She was able to wrangle the kids on the day of race, and most of the other time I was able to help out a lot in taking care of the girls and making sure that they were in a good mood and not fighting with each other the whole time. We did some shopping, did a little bit of tasting around the area for food, because they do have really good restaurants. And altogether was a good racecation. So if you are interested in racecationing, or if you have interest in becoming an Ironman or training like one, I'm looking to mentor somebody. So please reach out. We'll look forward to working with you and taking us along on your journey as well. It's not what we say or do, but the way we assist in making you feel. You're going to remember. Thank you for joining me today.